everybody. I'm Brooke.
And I am Kristoffer Polaha. Hi.
And we have a movie coming out on Friday called Dickens of a Holiday, which is part of Countdown to Christmas.
Yes, we do. And we have a couple of questions the Hallmark Channel sent us to get the ball rolling. So I'm going to ask you, I'll start, Brooke. I'll ask the first question, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. And so in a Dickens of a Holiday, the brand new movie from the Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas, the viewers are going to be excited to see how Christmas Carol comes together as Jake, the character that I play, and Cassie, the character you play, work on their hometown production. Can you share some insight on creating this movie?
Okay. Well, first of all, this movie was the most fun out of all of them to make. Like every moment, waking up, so excited to go to work. And generally, these movies are just shot so quickly that you're meeting your co-star the first day on you're meeting them right before the cameras roll. And Chris had the incredible idea of getting together beforehand and really sort of like going over the beats in the script, making sure that all the story points, the emotions, they all kind of line up together so that we end up with a movie that just feels really solid, and we can like find these moments beforehand rather than going home at the end of a shooting day and go, oh, we could have done X, Y, or Z and it would have been so much fun. Chris and I kind of got to work that out beforehand because he was saying like, let's do this. Let's dig in and find these little gems and make this great. So we got to have a rapport before the cameras rolled.
Yeah, we were both cast we filmed it in August. I mean, we filmed it in September.
Yeah, like around Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we were both cast in August, and we jumped on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in LA and meeting you over Zoom and being like, okay, so we can talk about the script, and you had some traveling and I had some stuff, but we got together early and we were able to break down the script together.
Yeah,
which really does make a difference.
It does. Like we didn't meet on day one and then the cameras rolled 5 minutes later. Like we actually got.
They're like, all right, you two, kiss. And you're like, is this person? I don't like.
And did you know with the kiss, sometimes, I don't know if this is done in Hallmark movies, but just in general, where they place the kiss in the script, it's like sometimes they're going to go, I'm going to place it day one, just in case these two people don't get along.
Don't like each other.
On day one, they don't know they don't like each other. So let's put it there. And then other people think, let's do it at the end when they've developed a relationship. So it's like, it's interesting where that gets placed.
It's funny. It's almost like a psychological profile on the first AD. He's like, right. If he doesn't trust humanity, he's like, kiss first day.
Day one.
I don't want my film. If he trusts humanity, he's like, no, they'll like each other. It'll work out. It'll get better.
Absolutely. So I think Mel, our AD, trusted humanity. She had it at the very end, right?
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Sweet soul. Okay, now Chris.
Yeah.
Your character Jake is a big-time action star. What was it about Cassie, that's the character I play, what was it about Cassie's plea that made Jake say yes to coming home and playing music?
Okay, here's a little bit. This is an exclusive for the super Hallmark super fans.
Okay.
Because this is something that you and I added to the script. This wasn't in the text. But I made this character decision that Jake loved Cassie from high school. Like Cassie was the girl that, I mean, it is in the script. He asked you to the prom and, he made a little gift for you. So there was obviously there was a clear thing. So that when you called, it wasn't so much like, hey, come back. It was just like, it was the fact that it was you. And there was also this underlying thing that everything that Jake did from high school was almost to prove himself to his hometown, but specifically to this character of Cassie, and to be like, I'm gonna make it as big as I can, because the plea itself didn't go so well, as you'll find out if you watch and when you watch the movie. And then I think the thing that brings Jake home ultimately is that he is not regarded as a great actor. People don't really think he can do much more than jump on a car and punch people out. And Cassie offers him this opportunity to play Ebenezer Scrooge, and he thinks that she's this huge Broadway director and it's going to look really good for him. And so he's using this as an opportunity to hopefully secure a role in a movie called The Dunes of Eastland, which was his mother's favorite book, and it's being adapted into a film. The lead role's available for that, and he thinks that if he can somehow get some good tape, maybe he can convince the producers that he actually is a good actor. But not even Cassie really believes that, and that comes across pretty clearly in the plea. She's like, he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, some of it was probably warranted. The rest of it would have been jealousy. There's kind of like a lot of things going on for Cassie in that situation.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Brooke, Cassie has spent her time since high school focusing more on her personal life and is now switching gears to her professional life, and she gets to direct again. Can you share your experience of playing Cassie? That's my question for you.
Yes, Cassie was so fun to play. Honestly, if this were a character that I was signing up for 7 years on a series, I would be in it so fast. She was great because she was at this stage in her life where she was basically starting over. She had built herself into a good place in her world, kind of came down on her, and now she's starting anew. So there's that vulnerability that she carries with her. But also, the minute she steps into her role as a director, she has this strength about her. So it was kind of fun to play those two energies of being sort of unsure and shaken confidence and vulnerable, but then you see the other side of her that she knows she's in charge. She knows she's good, even though she's doubting it. That strength is still there. And she's like a little bit quirky and a little bit silly, and she just kind of had a lot of different things going, and just such a joy to play.
Yeah, I love the fact that these two characters were really like, they both existed on the opposite ends of the same. So in high school, Cassie was like the theater stud. She was the one that everyone thought was going to go off to New York City and like become a big Broadway star. And nobody thought Jake was going to do anything, and it was one of those things where he got away and went to Hollywood and became a big star. And then your character goes to New York, gets married,
and then her directing career isn't going all that well. And then she invests all her time into her husband's job. And then the whole thing just sort of fizzles and falls apart, and she's sort of left with nothing, and including no self-esteem. So yeah. She's really starting from scratch.
So I thought that was interesting because your character was such a stud as a kid. My character was such a loser as a kid. And all of a sudden, not that your character's a loser now, but life wasn't, like you haven't been winning. And Cassie hasn't been.
Like she peaked in high school.
Yeah, like everything kind of happens. And so when you get these two characters, you can actually see all of that energy play back and forth. Because we're both really vulnerable, even in our strengths and in our weaknesses. And my character still thinks of you as the Cassie from high school, which is interesting. And you still think of me as the Jake from high school.
I still think of myself as Cassie from high school. I'm like, I got one up on this guy, even though he's this huge movie star. And then it kind of, you can see the truth. The layers of truth start slowly coming out. And you're like, oh, that's who these people are. That's what they're doing and what's going on.
And which is why I think viewers are going to love this movie, because it has so many different elements. Like, I was watching it and laughing hysterically with what we were watching it as a family, and we were laughing, and there's so many fun comedic beats, and your timing is just unbelievable. You're so good at comedy, and we play off of each other really well. And then there were scenes where I genuinely got like chills watching performances where I was like, ooh, that's just a good, solid performance. And then there were things that made me like pull at the heart. Like, I think this is going to be the best one of the season, and I think it's going to be a fan favorite for 1,000 years to come. That's my prediction for a Dickens of a holiday. All right, your turn. You got another question.
So, Chris, both of our characters, we get a second chance to see what we're made of, just like Scrooge does in A Christmas Carol. How does putting on the play help Jake discover something new in himself?
Yeah. I think we just spoke to that in the last question, but I think that Jake's so insecure about his ability to act. He doesn't think of himself or see himself as a very good actor. And Cassie through this really wonderful direction, shows him, A, that he can trust her. She kind of protects him in the rehearsal process. And so he's like, I can trust this person. And then she shows him how to put a character on externally through posture. And there's this really beautiful scene between Jake and Cassie where you see this like character sort of be put on to his body. And all of a sudden he's seeing acting from a different point of view. And then Cassie does something really incredible where she gives my character and his brother a bit of a redirection and kind of shifts the focus on how they relate to each other. And so there's a flowering that takes place in Jake's life. And I think that inversely that all gives confidence to Cassie, and you watch her flower. So they're making each other grow. It's like a mutually beneficial relationship. Mm-hmm. And it all comes through play. Like it's all because of the play. And it's everything that takes place during the play. So, or the rehearsal process of the play.
Yeah.
Although it's funny, my kid was watching and he's like, when is he going to go learn his lines?
Yeah, when do you learn your lines?
Don't worry about that. He's got a photographic memory. That's the one thing he's good at. All right. Yeah, I got a question.
Yes.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say through like supporting each other, they kind of find their strength.
Yes.
It's
exactly.
like, yeah, that's where they find it within themselves, but it's kind of like through the other person believing in them, they find their strength and their grounding and their backbone.
It's a beautiful reminder in life because it's like when you put your attention on another person, then you tend to start to grow yourself versus when you're and I think that Jake is living a very selfish life. And that's how he is like Scrooge. He doesn't come home anymore, and he's living in that sort of microcosm of Hollywood stardom where you can be very isolated by yes people and not live in reality. And I think Cassie's a nice reminder of that. Like, hey, man.
And it's like a good reminder of like the power of somebody supporting you. Like it cannot be underestimated. It is huge. He has just really
you can speak life into somebody.
Yeah, like having someone believe in you. Sometimes you only need one person to believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and that can change everything.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Which is why teachers are so amazing, because so many kids in the world they have like that teacher who spoke life into them for a year, and then all of a sudden they see a whole new future for themselves. That's why teachers are so valuable.
Yeah.
And parents. Good parents. All right. Putting on the production gives Cassie and Jake time to reconnect and get to know each other as adults. Neither one of us are adults yet. Chris, what is your favorite quality about Cassie and Brooke? What's yours for Jake? So I'm asking myself a question in third person, and I'm asking you a question. So what is your favorite quality about Jake?
Cassie's favorite quality about Jake, I would say he's boisterous and big, and he takes up space and time, and he has, even though some of it is bravado because he is feeling a little insecure underneath it, there's this element of him that is just he's big and he's not scared to take up space. And Cassie, in the moment, she's kind of like, she doesn't believe in herself, and she's sort of like inside herself. And being around somebody who shows up in the world that way kind of lets her come out a little bit and to step into something bigger than what she's been doing, which is kind of like crawling away from it all. And so I just think that his you'll see when you see Chris play this role. I mean, he's just like larger than life with that as a true movie star would be, and it's fun and it's real. Like it the performance is so real because that is, there are so many people on this planet that actually act that way, and it's cool to see all those layers that you have with that.
Sweet. I think my favorite thing, and I don't know, it's funny because the actor and the characters often blend, but Brooke happens to be probably one of the most encouraging actors that I've ever worked with. Like, you made me feel so confident because you were so supportive and encouraging. When I make a choice, you would laugh and you would appreciate it, and you'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Because it was always good.
So all of a sudden, it's like when you have somebody that you're working with and that you trust, be somebody that you're bouncing off ideas and you're just getting so much like positive feedback, it's really liberating. I mean, it's kind of what the movie is. And then I guess also a certain joy de vivre. There was just there's just a joy in life that I think Brooke has, but also that like Cassie has, that was enjoyable. Like there's just an enthusiasm. Like when you meet somebody and they care, it's very different than someone who's a little jaded and cynical and like the people who don't care. So I think my qualities that I liked.
Okay, so Chris,
Mm-hmm.
Jake and Cassie participate in a lot of fun local holiday activities as part of Dickens Days, from horse-drawn carriages to shopping for a Christmas tree. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions that you like to celebrate?
Oh man, babe, what do we love?
We're going to church and coming home and Santa coming.
We do church every New Year's Eve, and then I tell this story every year. I'm gonna condense it. So my wife, who's off camera over there, is was it your great grandfather?
No, my granddad.
Tricky?
Tricky.
Okay, so there's a guy named Tricky Lanier, and he homesteaded, his parents homesteaded land in Florida. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Santa Claus, if you catch Santa Claus in the act of delivering your Christmas presents under the Christmas tree, which most people don't, he's very, very secretive, he's very, very furtive. The guy's almost magical. He is magical, let's be honest. But you can still catch him, like one out of, maybe 500 million people can catch Santa Claus. And when this happens, he makes a pact. So he's real. And he says, every year I'll hand deliver Christmas presents to you. And since you know I'm real, I'll do it to your kids and for their kids and for their kids and on and on and on. So Julianne's mom grew up and Santa Claus would come and deliver presents in person. Julianne had Christmas presents delivered in person from Santa Claus. And our kids, because of Tricky Lanier and his little sneakiness, his trickiness, and discovering Santa Claus in the act, we get Santa Claus. And he's not the way that I played him in this movie. He's super shy. He is almost like elfish. He's big size, he's normal size, like a normal human size, but he's super quiet, giggly. He doesn't, pretend to be a friend of everybody, and he just drops the gifts. He takes a couple pictures with the kids. He is jolly, and then he bounces. And you can't see the reindeer because he knows where to park them. They're usually on the roof, and he can hop up. He's got superpowers, or he does things that I don't know how he is able to do it, but it's pretty awesome. So between church and Santa, that's our Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Brooke?
My favorite one lately is Candy Cane Lane in Woodland Hills. Have you been there? Have you done that?
No,
We're going to do it this year, though.
we wanted to do it this year.
It's so nice. So it's like you just go with friends or your wife, whoever you're, and I would go get go get hot chocolate from Starbucks, whatever, and you just drive around these streets, this neighborhood is just generously exploding their electricity bill by having all these lights all over their homes, and the whole neighborhood does it. But it's such a sight to see with what people have, how they've decorated their place. It's incredible. So that's something that I've liked.
Is it like a block? Is it a city block? Is it a neighborhood? Is it a whole community?
A few streets that do it, and I don't know how they convince everyone on the street to partake. Like, you'd think there'd be some neighbors that would just be like, bah, bah, humbug, but somehow everybody gets involved and they do it. But I mean, we're talking like probably thousands their electricity bill would be for the month.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love you plugged the movie too. You threw a little bah humbug in there. Smart. All right, I got another one for you.
Yeah.
No, it's my question, but it's not. It's to me. I think you should ask this one.
I'll ask to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So Chris, we're loving the photos and videos that you're sharing on social media, including the video of you getting into character to play Ebenezer Scrooge. Are there any fun stories you have of us filming together?
Yeah. Yes, I have countless stories of fun times.
Can't wait.
Us coming together. To name a few, I think I have like vivid memories for some reason of the scenes that we shot, like in that weird courtyard where the theater was, where it was like Dickens days, and that scene in particular where the mime Ebenezer Scrooge comes up, and you and I are like, and you need a Santa Claus, and I'm like, and we have this moment. Everything in the theater felt like everything in the theater felt like what it was, why I fell in love with acting. Like
Yes.
it was like camp. It just felt
It
totally
felt
safe and fun. And you know, you and I were on stage, and it was this fun. I don't know, like the one where I was pretending, trying to learn the lines, and you're sitting on the stage, and you're kind of looking at me like, and I'd be like, hold on, let me do that again. And you're like that whole thing was fun.
I watched you do that. I think there was like 10 different takes because they had to get all these different people and all these angles. And you were so funny and so good each and every time. Like you never missed a beat on that scene. Your timing and your comedic chops on that scene, like every single time, you never dropped the ball. It was like, yeah, anyway.
I think, but my favorite scene with you and I working together with you was, I haven't had a chance, and again, I don't think it translates in the movie. Like it didn't translate the way that it felt doing it in real life. It didn't.
Which was
I
that?
didn't. Is the scene where he is on his knees and you come up, and it's a really lovely scene for both of us, where you come up and you're like, you're so in your head.
Oh, yeah.
You're here. Like your stuff was awesome, but it's funny because I felt like I was doing more of a voice than I actually heard. I felt like I was doing.
You,
It
do you
just
mean like
felt
when you
so
were doing
different. What's that?
Are you talking about when you were doing your like monologue as Ebenezer?
Yeah.
It was so good. What are you talking about?
No. Thank you. But I'm saying like it on the day, like what I saw, like from what I saw, like what I saw was interesting. I'm like, okay, that's a cool scene. But doing it like on the day, and like
Oh,
really just like performance after performance after performance, and then your replies with it, like crying, like it was just a really cool. I think that was like the highlight of it.
yeah, I would say
And
so.
the crew, like when you start acting and you really drop into a place, everyone got so quiet and everyone just kept marching forward. So when the camera had to get moved, like everyone just quietly like pulled the cameras tighter and tighter and tighter, and no one was chatting in between setups. And like it was like a professional.
Yeah.
It was like a professional set. Like it was
And
like
we're
everyone, the bar, like all of a sudden went really high, and everyone was like, "Let's honor this moment. Let's make this real."
Yeah, I think in that moment we all went right back to our theater days of like how much you need to respect the performer that's on stage and what you're going through, and you were just giving so much take after take after take, and it was like it felt like it felt like college theater days or high school theater days, theater camp, where we were just these kids sort of playing and discovering what we love so much about this art and this craft. And you had all your Ebenezer, like your main Ebenezer stuff on that day. And I think everyone was so impressed with where you were going with it and what was coming out of you. It was so special.
It was fun. It made me certainly want to like get back on the stage and do like
Yeah.
go back to the boards a little bit. But again, though, like that, you only get if you're working with someone who you feel like is making fun of you or is not in it with you, or if like to be able to go there means that everybody like that means that you're like you went there with me and you were as generous. So everything that I gave, you were saying, I'm taking it, I'm yesing it, I'm handing it, like it's all good. And
Yeah.
that's where a performance builds. Like that's when I remember when Ethan Hawke won the Oscar and Denzel Washington was like, and he thanked Denzel Washington. He's like, I couldn't have done, or who, I think maybe Denzel won the Oscar and he thanked Ethan Hawke. I forget, but he was like, I wouldn't be standing here without you, because in acting, you really do need two people lifting the weight. Otherwise, imagine a barbell, like, you know, one side's going way up and the other one's dragging, and you're not getting the thing lifted. And I think, you know, that's why it was such a pleasure working with you, because step for step, toe to toe, whether it was comedy and the timing or whether it was really dramatic, like you have to watch this guy become a good actor, and you can't fake, like it has to be good acting, like it has to go there.
Right.
So the fact that we were just sold out, bought in, like went for it with each other, trusted each other, and had fun with each other. And then we had Paul Ziller, who was doing his, you could tell that dude was like, I got to get this. We're getting all of this. And we had Antonio Cupo, who was like so smart, and so like yes, go, go, go.
Yeah.
His Italian firebrand, like, hey, we're gonna make this happen. Like, so good.
Yeah, like the further you went with it, the more he loved it, and he was so encouraging and had so many great creative notes, and just like allowed us to play.
Yeah. Apparently, the fans of Hallmark are used to seeing this with their brand. I call us brand ambassadors now, Brooke. We're no longer Hallmark actors. We're brand ambassadors.
I guess so. Yeah. How many of these have you done? You've done like 10.
1,000. I don't know. I think this is my 5th Christmas movie.
Oh, 5th Christmas movie. Yeah, brand ambassador for sure then, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a little bit of it's called This or That, inspired by a Dickens of a holiday.
Hey, I'm ready.
And a countdown to Christmas. And you're going to pick the best option that you like. And you can pick both if you want, but, let's pick one. All right, so Brooke, This or That, rapid fire. Picking out a Christmas tree or decorating a Christmas tree?
Decorating a Christmas tree because I don't like to be outside in the cold.
Picking out a Christmas tree. Because,
decorating a Christmas tree.
Yeah, no, you like decorating. I like picking them out. Yeah, I like the picking out. We get the picture. We're one and done. The decorating, I'm always like,
it's so long and involved. Yeah.
I think you want to take the second one?
Next one for you. All right, Chris, This or That. Movie watching snacks, popcorn or cookies?
Cookies.
Cookies.
Yeah, how about you?
Me too. Yeah, cookies for me too.
Okay.
Chocolate.
Okay, Brooke.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve or Christmas morning?
Christmas Eve for sure, because the anticipation is always the best part of it.
Yeah, Christmas Eve for us too.
Look forward.
Okay, go for it.
Now you, enjoy a carriage ride through town or go ice skating?
I'm gonna say carriage ride through town.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because of the movie, or that's just what you'd say?
I mean, literally last night we were in a cab and I saw a horse and a carriage pull up next to us, and I was like, oh.
It's nice in New York, yeah.
Like I'm not sure I like how the horses are treated. I hope they're all treated humanely, like in a big city like New York. I'm sure they
right.
are. But aside from that aspect, like the horse-drawn carriage is something really romantic. And what about you? Are you a horse-drawn carriage girl or an ice skater?
I would rather ice skate. I like to move my legs. If there's something about sitting with my legs like at a normal angle, the way that a normal person would sit, that I find excruciatingly uncomfortable. And I don't think in a carriage it's appropriate to sit like cross-legged or be like curled up like that. So I would prefer to be on my feet moving around.
I wish that you'd done the horse carriage in our scene with your knees up, like curled up, like applesauce. That would have been. I loved how good an ice skater you are in the movie. You are back there, cutting the ice like a pro. You look good.
Yep. Thank you.
I love that. Okay. Go to a Christmas play, or stay in watching Hallmark Christmas movies.
Stay in and watch a Hallmark Christmas movie with my cookies.
With your cookies.
With the cookies that I choose over the popcorn. Yes.
There you go. All right.
Okay, now you bake Christmas cookies or go caroling.
I'm not gonna bake the Christmas cookies.
Could you eat the cookies while you carol?
You could eat the carol. You could skip caroling and just watch movies on Hallmark all afternoon.
You could do that.
And that could be the way to spend a cozy winter day. We've gone caroling once in our life, and it was fun. Like, it was a good evening, and you go from house to house, and it creates a very sweet neighborhood community feel, and it's a nice way to get to know your neighbors. I think everybody enjoys the camaraderie of that. And when we went caroling, it was probably with like 30 carolers, and we canvassed the whole neighborhood, so we probably hit like 20 houses. So it was a big fun night.
Yeah.
But growing up, my dad would make these things called kolaches. They're like a little, Polaha is a Czech name, and so it's like old country cookie. And every year we do this cookie, and there's tons of flour and everywhere, and we make a huge mess because it's a bunch of men. I had 3 older brothers and my dad, and my mom would like back away from the kitchen, And, while we did this crazy cookie making thing. So it's actually like a part of my life growing up making
Oh,
cookies.
that's fun.
Yeah. Long story to a short answer. Or a short, look, long answer to a quick question. Okay, last one.
Yeah,
Are you ready for it?
I am.
Christmas past, Christmas present, or Christmas future?
Christmas present.
Oh.
Because living in the past gives you depression, living in the future gives you anxiety. Okay? Christmas present.
The present it's why they call it a present, because it's a gift.
Because it's a gift. Yes. And we are in the here and now, and we are so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go back and you don't know what's to come, so be here now. Yeah. I like the Christmas present too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, where can they tune in to watch the premiere of A Dickens of a Holiday, Brooke, on Friday night, December 10th at 8 o'clock, 7 Central, 8 Western Pacific Time, 5 if you live in the mountains? Where can they watch it?
On Hallmark.
Only on Hallmark.
Hallmark. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we cannot wait to show you this movie and to hear what you think. It's called A Dickens of a Holiday, and it's on Hallmark at 8, 7 Central.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I have something to say, too. Merry Christmas. You can tweet along with us using the hashtag A Dickens of a Holiday. Once you plug that in, it's going to start jumping up. You're going to write ADI, and then it's just going to finish for you. And then I think, so Brooke and I are going to do a live viewing together in Edison, New Jersey on Friday. We're going to watch it live with some fans, a select group of fans. Hopefully it'll turn out for us. And then on Twitter after the fact, there's like a new feature where it's like a party line, which we're going to jump on. And so you can also talk to us there. And then maybe we'll go live while we're watching live. Maybe we'll go on Instagram live.
Okay.
See you guys. Enjoy the movie. We want to know what you think.
Bye, everyone.